Keith Tebow from FRC Media. Thank you for joining us today as we continue our look at the candidates on the November 3rd state election ballot. There are a number of races, both with Congress, some statewide candidates, and also some candidates that are running for office in Bristol County. Among them there are 2 slots available for the Bristol County Commissioner seat. There are 3 commissioners in Bristol County. 2 of them are up for election this year. And I'm pleased to be joined now by one of the incumbents looking for re-election, Paul Kitchen. Paul, thank you for joining me. How are you?
Very good, Keith. How are you?
Good. You've been in office now for 3 terms, 12 years. You're looking for your 4th term. Some people may know you, some people may not know you. So let me just ask you, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been able to do as a county commissioner to date.
Sure. When I was elected back in 2009, I was actually the school business manager for the Fairhaven Public Schools. And I had just left the district attorney's office. So I had an understanding of the county government. And as a county commissioner, one of the most, I guess, not the most interesting for me is the Bristol Agricultural High School. We serve as trustees at the agricultural high school, and having that relationship with being a school business manager in Fairhaven and at one time in Fall River. But it's nice to sit on the board. It's nice to see a different educational background for agricultural, and rather than the regular comprehensive high school. And currently, we're undergoing a substantial renovation project at the high school. So it took a while to get the application through the MSBA. The cities and towns supported the project because they realized the situations the buildings were in at the time. And for the last 18 months to 18 months or so, they've been under construction. So that's the most significant. Other than that, I think we've been just supporting the Register of Deeds and trying to make our improvements to the Taunton Superior Court.
Being a county commissioner is not one of those glamorous political positions, but it does serve an important purpose. One of the other aspects of the job, I do want to get back to Bristol Aggie in a moment, but one of the other important aspects of the job is, you oversee a lot of the county physical facilities, the buildings across the county, the courthouses, and the like. A lot of those are showing their age. A lot of them need improvement. So I guess as a county commissioner, how do you try to advocate to get funding from the state that trickles down to be able to service the needs of improving those facilities?
That's an excellent point. I mean, I was somewhat surprised because a few years back, we had actually reached out to the Mass Historic Commission because, like you said, most of our buildings are showing their age. And I was interested in getting a study done at the Taunton Superior Court to see if they can get some funding for Mass Historic. And they said that the legislation does not cover the counties. It'll cover the state and it'll cover municipal buildings, but not the counties. So we looked into it, and we're doing it in phases, so we don't have to borrow for it, and we're replacing some of the copper roof and making the necessary repairs to that roof so that the water penetration doesn't affect the inside of the building. And we've done some restoration inside the foyer and to maintain that structure. We are also looking at the New Bedford Superior Court, and that New Bedford Superior Court is the cupola up top, and we're actually looking to get maybe a resin or something. But again, we have to go through Mass Historic, even though they won't fund us, to get their thumbprint to say it's okay to use something other than perhaps mahogany or teak or whatever the original structure was. So that would probably take place in the spring of this year. Other than that, we look at use of the facilities that we've actually closed. Taunton District Court is a good example. Alex Stylos has purchased that structure and turned it into a restaurant entertainment area. So we didn't have to close the building, mothball it, and then forget about it, which happens with a lot of buildings. With all the school closures, with all the new buildings of the schools, unfortunately, some of the schools go vacant for a long time and they become kind of a hazard. And then with the Children's Museum and the Fall River Superior Court, Joanne Sprague has been a fantastic, partner with us. We let her use the facility, and she secures funding to make that a children's museum. So I think it's a good relationship. I think we think about how we can preserve the history of those buildings, but also protect the integrity of them.
Yeah. Now, how does the county commission, how do you get funded? Where do you get the money from? People may not understand how that works.
The county still subscribes to the county tax. So every year, each of the municipalities within the county is assessed a tax. And that's where we get our funding from to maintain the courthouses. Register of Deeds have their fees for filing fees and such. So they get their revenue in through stamp tax and filing tax, deeds tax. And then, so the county tax actually funds the minimum contribution for the agricultural high school too. So similar to every municipality, depending on the enrollment at the agricultural school or the school department of that municipality, they're required under the Chapter 70 formula to support education. And that's what we do. We put a portion of the county tax into the minimum contribution for the Bristol Agricultural High School.
Let me get back to Bristol Aggie now. You said, all three commissioners are on the board of trustees. It's one of those institutions that a lot of people may not know about. And in speaking with your colleague, Commissioner John Mitchell, I was interested to find out that it's quite a thriving educational institution, provides opportunities that a lot of students may not even realize are available to them here in Bristol County. How, as a commissioner and as a trustee, have you helped, promote Bristol Aggie, and how do you hope to continue to do that if reelected?
Well, we did hire an individual to work with some of the new incoming students. So when she goes to the 7th and 8th grade schools, to let them know about what we have to offer. And truthfully, I was at my son's 8th grade, I guess it's a presentation, and there were two other schools there. One was the local school and one was one of the local regional vocational schools. And the girl did a phenomenal job of presenting the equestrian, the ag mechanics, the dairy, the arboriculture, we have different trades than you would find in the local regional vocational technical high school, and some of the comprehensive high schools that, like similar to Durfee High School, has a vocational setting too. But there is, I want to say, 200 acres of land at the Bristol Agricultural High School. So they have a sprawling campus, and they make use of it in a very wise way, where they're growing crops, or they're using the trees up there for arbor, and they have plenty of dairy area to graze the cattle for the large animal science groups. With that, I think the largest step was the project, trying to get it through the MSBA. They came down for their site visits and such. But we always have a healthy application for the school. So if there are 300 applications, but we can only take 108 of them, so therefore they're turning them away. And then there's a small percentage of students, I think, that when they get there, the facilities with a weakness, they get there and they say, I'm willing to do the commitment for a 45 to an hour bus ride, but when I got to the class, it was in it was in the barn, it was here, it was, so I think the commitment by the commissioners and the trustees and the municipalities, the towns especially, because they had to pass the legislation, to commit to the future of agriculture in Bristol County. It was substantial commitment.
Now, in terms of if you're successful for another 4-year term, just so people know how it works on county government, for this election, there are 3 candidates. It's yourself and John Mitchell, who are the 2 incumbent Democrats. It's also a Republican, Nancy Stanton Cross, that's also running for election. So out of the three of you, two of the three will be elected. What are your ideas in terms of what you'd like to propose for the commission and for the county if reelected for another 4-year term?
Well, I mean, we have to see the project through as far as the high school. I think it has another year or year or 18 months of full construction. But that means to get those areas of students interested in going to it and letting them know that the building is going to be state of the art as far as sciences, as far as natural resources. And as we do that, I think we can reach out to some more of the communities in the county and out of the county and let them know what we can offer them. Whether it's a few years back, they had a lot of the talk coming out of the Commonwealth was regionalization of resources. And I think we offer that. I mean, I think we could, especially with the environmental sciences at the high school, perhaps we could look at some of the closed landfills that are inside the county and do a request for proposal or invitation for bids for the testing on that. I had run it by one of the smaller towns and they thought it would be a fantastic idea, but then in turn they just used that as leverage to drop their price. But I think we could, if we engage an engineering firm, and then that way we can regionalize the expenses for some of the smaller towns, that might help for those professional services, whether it's engineering or testing, and making it a consolidated purchase. I think that would be helpful. We do have a print shop. I don't think a lot of people understand that the Bristol County Print Shop is located in New Bedford, and they've actually done some great work for some of the smaller towns, and it's similar. It's a consolidated effort to help the municipalities within the county.
Now, is it important for the commissioners to, kind of championing the efforts being done in the county? Again, a lot of people don't know what happens in Bristol County government. So I guess is one of the initiatives also being a little more open in terms of what's happening, maybe sharing information on meetings and the like. A lot of us watch meetings online and watch meetings on cable television. Is there maybe opportunities for you to expand that as well?
I would think so. We meet regularly. We meet twice a month, and then the other 2 dates similarly we meet at the trustees meeting at the agricultural high school. So we meet basically weekly to discuss the county business. So I think with the high school, we currently meet at the Taunton Superior Court. We've met at New Bedford Superior Court. I think once the school is completed, that we could actually hold our meetings prior to the trustees meetings and hold them at the school, and it might be a benefit to showcase the facility. I mean, I really think it's going to be a wonderful project to bring in kids, and we won't be turning them away, because the main emphasis was going to be large animals, small animals, to make sure that the veterinary sciences are covered, and then we expanded a little further to increase another pathway for environmental science. So the new building is entirely science oriented. It'll have the biology, the chemistry labs in there also, as well as the natural sciences.
All right, Paul Kitchen seeking re-election to another term for the Bristol County Commissioner position. Paul, thank you for joining us. All the best on the election, and hopefully we can talk again soon. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
All right, and thank you for watching today on FRC Media. Please make a point to vote.